2023 Kia Niro gets a redesign, and I'm super excited to get it on my channel because today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out, the exterior, interior, jump inside of it, we'll play with some cool and interesting features on the interior, take it for a spin at the end of this video. And all of this thanks to Gettle Kia of Bradenton, Florida. Thanks to those guys for making this video possible. By the way, guys, if this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt here on Matt the Carguy. I put 2 car reviews every single week, so if automotive content is something that interests you, do me a favor, check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing, and if you watch this video and like that, give me a thumbs up. 2023 Kia Niro has been redesigned, so it's completely different. What also we have is this brand new color for 2023. They call it Cityscape Green. Looks pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What also I like is this big windshield right here. Lots of visibility. Now right on top of here you can see some sensors for, the safety equipment that Kia has. As far as the hood, it doesn't have a very long one because it doesn't have a very big engine in it, but it's pretty flat. It also has these 2 very slight indents on the sides, creating this raise in the middle. New generation Kia logo. And then as far as the headlights, you can see the halogen headlights, and then you have the daytime running lights / turn signals that are blinking right now. And as far as the design of it, Kia decided to get rid of this tiger nose grille, which I kind of liked on the previous generation ones. This one looks very plain, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I like it. Let me know what you think. It is matte black, and you'll see a lot of this matte black around this vehicle, but also has those trim pieces all over that are polished aluminum. Now let's see what powers up this thing. Before we take a look at the engine itself, let's take a look. It does have hood struts on both sides. It does have some sound insulation underneath here, and the engine itself, let's take a look. It says it's a plug-in hybrid smart stream. This is a 1.6 liter engine, of course, with the hybrid assist. Total output 180 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. Now this is mated to a 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. I gotta tell you, as far as the output, 33 miles on the fully electric wrench. So if you fill this battery up completely and fill up the tank, you can go over 500 miles of total range. Completely different look on the side of this vehicle. Now it is a little bit bigger. It's about 2.5 inches longer. It's about 0.8 inches wider, so creates more room on the inside, but we'll get to it when I'm showing you the interior of it. As far as the styling of it, well, let me know what you think about it. It does have this cladding around the wheels as well as at the bottom of the doors. Now in my opinion, it's a little bit too much, but that's just me. Now you can right away tell that it is a plug-in hybrid. It's got the charging port on the side over here, and then as far as the wheel and tires, it does have the 16-inch aluminum wheels. They look like they're specially designed for the electric or plug-in vehicle, and they're wrapped in this Nexen all-season tires. 205 by 60 on the 16-inch rim. That's what you'll get in here. It does have the same color mirrors as the rest of the vehicle, built-in turn signals, blind spot assist right inside of here. Right on top you have this low-profile piano black roof rails, and the windows are surrounded in this black color trim. Now it does have the smart entry system, but you do have to push this button in order to activate it. Keys inside of this vehicle, that's why it's making this noise. Of course, it is a 5-seater, and it does have this pretty cool design. Now, for aerodynamics, if I give you a close-up of it, you'll see that this part right here is open, and it exits off over here. So for the air that's coming in here, air goes inside this trim and comes out by the light on the other side. Well, let's go in the back, check out the rest of it. And of course, we have a completely brand new back end of this vehicle. Let's check this out. Well, first of all, you can't not notice this huge gate spoiler. It extends quite a bit over this rear window, and it incorporates this huge third brake light. You also see these big lights that are on the sides over here. There's fully LED right on top of here, but then you have the turn signals and the backup lights that are incandescent, and they're down below here, and that's encased in this reflector light. So they kind of did a nice design of it, incorporated everything in one. Now you can see that there's a trim piece over here that sticks out a little bit. I had told you that air comes out for better aerodynamic and then comes out in front here. Big Kia logo, Niro on one side, PHEV on the other side. That stands for plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And then you can see some of this matte black cladding, as well as this polished aluminum trim piece down at the bottom. There's a rear view camera down in here, and the gate opens up manually. So let's see how much room we have inside. And the gate opens nice and tall, and we do have quite a bit of room. Now this is a compact crossover basically. It does have tons of room for the class of its vehicle. Now we see that this is the household charger for the plug-in hybrid, and what Kia says that you can charge it from completely dead to 100% in about 3 hours. So that is actually not bad at all. Now there is storage underneath this board right here. Now this is where the batteries are, so if you opt in for non-plug-in hybrid, you're going to have a little bit more storage down below here, but this is what you'll have. Now the seats can also be folded down. They're 60-40 split, and the way you do it, you basically release them and push them back so they can lay flat. And now this is how much room you have. Tons of room for a compact crossover. Well, I made sure that the front seat is adjusted to my regular driving position and set inside of here. And I have to tell you, this has more room than some of the larger crossovers or SUVs. I'm sitting fairly comfortably. I do have several inches above my head, as you can see. I also have plenty of shoulder room, and probably about 2.5 inches before my knees would hit the seat in front of me. So definitely a lot of room. It does have about 2 more inches of legroom than the previous generation one. That's where that difference came. The interior is very interesting. Well, let me show it to you. Start with the rear door panel over here. So you can see a lot of plastic, a lot of hard plastic. The only soft portion right here is this fabric for your armrest, and then you have your window control and door handle and the speaker. There's very tiny room right here. I don't know if you can be able to put anything in here, maybe a small bottle of water. Now let's move inside the vehicle, and as you can see, the seats look pretty comfortable. They feel pretty comfortable. They are actually made with Syntex, which is this man-made leather, in combination with this fabric. This fabric is made out of this eucalyptus thread. This is a nod, Kia's nod to the environment. So this is a sustainable fabrics. And what we have right in here, we have this armrest that opens up, 2 cup holders, and let's take a look in the back of the seats. Now the seat backs are plastic, which is probably smart because it's easier to clean. This have some seat back storage. You also have the USB-C ports, both driver and passenger, and you have vents in the back, which is a big plus, even for a small vehicle like this. You do have a slight bump in here, even though when you get a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, they're only available in front-wheel drive. As always, let's listen to the door close. Boom. Nice and solid thud over here. Take a look at the door panel, because it is different than the rear. Now, first of all, this is no longer a hard plastic. This is soft material. You still have this fabric around your armrest, but Kia has been doing that on quite a few models. They don't really care about the rear passengers, but in the front, they put some premium materials. So right here on this side, you can see that there is a mirror controls, window controls, door handle right here. You have this big trim piece that's piano black. Now this is going to be a fingerprint factor is not my favorite. Down at the bottom, you have the speaker and more storage in this front door than the back. Now you do have the power controls for the driver's seat, and the driver's seat fairly nicely contoured. You do have the same fabric and as in the back, and the interior is completely different. Before I jump inside, I'll show you a couple buttons on the left hand side. So we have traction control, and then we also can turn off the timer for the charging. You can open that fuel gate, as well as you can adjust the brightness of the screen. Now let's see what else we have. Here's another big thing, big change for 2023, and this is the interior of this Niro plug-in hybrid. Let's check this out. I like how Kia goes all out with the technology, with all the amenities that you get. This is not even the highest end trim, and really there's nothing been added to this EX model. So let's check this out. Starting at the dashboard right here, it is wrapped in this nice injection plastic molding, but it's not just a regular one. You see, there does have some texture on it, creates a very unique look, and it slopes down to the side, the passenger, and it is opens up towards the driver. So Kia calls it the driver-centric design, which is really nice. It really surrounds the driver. It gives you all of the amenities in the reach, within the reach of your hand, and I'm going to go through them one by one. So first of all, let's start with the steering wheel. Completely different than we've seen on the previous generation one. We've seen a similar one on the electric vehicles that Kia comes up. The EV6 has a very similar one. There's no 3 spokes like you've seen on some of the other ones. It kind of reminds me of that Genesis steering wheel, maybe not as luxurious, but let's see what we have here. So a bunch of buttons on both sides, Kia logo in the middle. So on the left hand side, which you can see, you see this pages button, kind of the menu button that controls what's going on in this fully digital instrument cluster. Then the rest of it is basically for your cruise control and the lane keep assist. Now you have what seems to be the pedal shifters. I'm not sure if these are region or the actual pedal shifters. We're going to check that out while driving. Here's your drive mode selection, and that changes basically between Eco and Sport. Those are the 2 different driving modes that you have here. While we're here in this fully digital instrument cluster, let's check out what else we have. So now we're in Sport, so you can see everything basically turns a little red, like the outlines, and if you put it in the Eco mode, that turns into blue. So what do we have? So now, as far as the range, we have 27 miles electric range left. That's about 84% of battery life left. 266 miles on this gasoline. Now, as a reminder, this vehicle, if fully charged with a full tank of gas, can go over 500 miles in range. So this is a perfect combination for people who are not really sure if they want to buy an electric vehicle, but want to kind of try it out for a second. So and then the second page right here is your compass, and then info that gives you the engine temperature, and then if you go up, that gives you the tire pressure, but we need to start driving in order to get this displayed. Now on the left hand side, you see the miles per hour. This is your speedometer, and tachometer is on the right hand side. At the bottom you see the fuel gauge, and on the other side you see the temperature, and that's pretty much what we have. Oh, one more thing, then right on top there's a gear indicator as well as your range, which is really, really important. So moving on to this 10.25 inch screen. We've seen this system before, so I'm just going to quickly go through that. There's a big difference is this PHEV. By the way, the PHEV stands for plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. That's the abbreviation for it, just in case you were wondering. And here's what it says. Electric range is 27 miles, or 81% battery charge. Charge management, you can actually select it here. So here's your charging settings. Maximum, reduced, and minimum. Basically what it says, if a problem occurs while charging, lower the charging current and try again. When the charging current is lower, charging may take longer. So basically that tells you, hey, if it doesn't charge at the current settings, try lowering it. Now go back to the home screen. You have your map, which it comes standard with navigation. It also has the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay available, but it does have a built-in navigation, which is really nice, bright, visible, easy to use navigation menu. Here it is. You can do just a search. Points of interest, categories, safe places, traffic, Kia dealerships. That's all highlighted in here. Once you have the navigation set up, or if you put in the previous destinations, any of those buttons that are currently grayed out will up here in purple. Then you have your phone, so it can connect your phone.
From your device in order to search.
And I can do that right now. Phone projection. So it does have the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, like I said, but it still needs to be connected via cable, which I think would be changed. Voice memo is another feature that a lot of people like. That allows you to record a short voice memo and retrieve it later instead of looking for post-it notes. Here's your climate control, and this is basically just the settings for the climate control. Although you can change it through here as well, adjust your temperature, auto, off, driver only, and then you can select the different vents that the air is coming out of. So really nice activation, and then you can turn on and off different settings for the climate control. Back to the home screen, you have the quiet mode. Basically turns off the rear speakers, limits the output of the front speakers. HD radio data, radio setup, media, Kia Connect, user's manual. We've seen that before. Let's go to radio. Nothing too crazy about here. You can see that you have the FM, AM, and the Sirius XM as far as the radio. And if you want to go to media, you can go through here. You do have the sounds of nature, which we can actually check this out. Very nice sounding system. Okay, it's not branded, so I think it's one of the Kia's own brand, but it actually sounds very, very nice. So these are your sounds of nature. Go back to the main screen. What else we have? Kia Connect notifications, user's manual. That basically opens up the QR code, scanned with your phone, takes you to your user manual. Down below you have regular vents, really nice, and then you have this other screen that basically serves dual purpose. First, as we see right now, it gives you basically the shortcuts buttons for, you know, your infotainment system. So you have the map, navi, favorite, seek, track, radio, media setup, and this is a power and volume button. On the other side, you have the file and tune button. They also have the main settings for the climate control, so you can have auto climate, air recirculating button, front window defogger, rear window defroster. Now, once you hit any of those buttons, it switches. You can see you no longer have those shortcut buttons for the infotainment system. It switches to the menu for the climate control. And in order to switch it back, you hit this button right here, and it goes back and forth. So now you can set up the temperature, dual zone climate control, different for driver, different for passenger. Really, really nice. Scrolling down here, the USB, USB-C, wireless charging. Really nice. I'm getting used to that. And then you have your engine stop start button, heated seats on both sides, driver and passenger. Now if you went for the regular hybrid, it would have a different shifter, would have the regular T style handle. This one has the rotor dial for the gear shifter, and then you have your reverse, neutral, drive, parking, push the button to park. Now you have the fully electric mode, auto hold, and the emergency brake. And then scrolling down here, you actually have your cup holders. And if you're not using them but want to have a little bit more room, you can actually push those back and create more room in here. Now you push the button, open up the cup holder, and open up this little tiny storage that's in the back here. That's what we have. One of the other things that I want to show you is the reverse camera. Put it in reverse. And here you go. So decent quality. There's nothing too crazy. No 360. Camera takes up about 2/3 of the screen, so that could be improved. And as far as the different angles, you only have the narrow and wide angle. And as far as the settings, you can basically turn on or off the rear view parking lines or extended rear view monitor. And this is all that you can check it out in here. Still a lot of technology. One thing that I wish they improved is putting the wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And also, not a huge fan, again, of this piano black. I mean, this is all right here. Tons of fingerprints already, you can see. I'm just in this car for the last maybe 20 minutes, and it's already there. So it's happening. Scrolling up over here, regular mirror, nothing too crazy about it. Now you have the lights for driver, passenger. You can do the main switch for the lights as well. And no sunroof on this one. If you look in the headliner, wondering what this is made of, this is actually made out of the recycling wallpaper. So that's a Kia dedication for recycling and less of the environmental impact. And then you have the mirror. Well, you want to illuminate it if you'd like to. That's your light over here. So this is basically the interior of this 2023 Niro plug-in hybrid. Let's see how it drives. I'm ready to drive this plug-in hybrid. I know I'm excited because it is the best of both worlds. To me, the plug-in hybrids are the way of the future. Not the fully electric ones, not just the gasoline ones. This one combines the two aspects of it. And I gotta tell you, there's two different trim levels for this year's on the Kia Niro plug-in hybrid. There's the EX, and this is basically what I have here for you today. Everything that I just showed you about this vehicle is a standard equipment. The only option on this particular one are the carpeted floor mats at $155. Starting MSRP $33,740 with the floor mats and the destination. This particular one has an MSRP of $35,190. Then there's another trim level for this year's plug-in hybrid. That's the SX Touring at $39,590. Gives you a ton more equipment, and I'm gonna get it on my channel as soon as this dealership will get it and their inventory, so I'm going to show it to you what the differences are. Let's talk gas mileage for a second, because that's really important. That's why a lot of people are switching into the plug-in hybrids. First of all, 33 miles range is on fully electric mode on this particular vehicle. So if you are a commuter and you live and work in the city or somewhere close to it, you might not have to put gas in this vehicle at all, or for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, I've done the 2021 Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, and I got one comment from one of the viewers that, hey, it's been over a year since I owned this vehicle and I just filled it up today. So there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of this fully electric range. And if you plug it into a 240 volt outlet, you can charge the entire battery from 0 to full in less than 3 hours, which is also really good, because every day after work you plug it in, you have a full battery the next morning, which is great. Now, 48 miles per gallon, it's the gasoline only range, which is awesome, right? And then you have 108, they call it MPGE, and the way that they calculate it, they combine the electric range with the gasoline motor, and that's what they come up. So 108, that's the rating on it. So that's what we have here. I'm really excited to start driving it. One of the things that I always do is check out the turning radius or turning diameter, however you want to call it, how tight this vehicle is, you know, when turning. And I'm going to do that right here because we have tons of parking spaces in this parking lot. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, and we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just a nudge over 4, which is really nice and really tight. Now, well, I hope you're not buying or you're not considering to purchase one of those vehicles for the performance aspect of it, because you know, it's not made for that. Now, it should be quicker than the regular non-hybrid because we have more horsepower. We also have that low-end torque coming from the electric motor. So we're going to check that out. I'm going to check out the acceleration. I'm not going to go to 0 to 60. We're in this parking lot, but I'll see how it feels. I'm actually going to do one more thing. I'm going to flip it into the sports mode right here, so everything turns red, and let's see. Wow, I'm actually surprised. I got it up to about 45 miles per hour, and as you could see, or you could hear probably, that it started off really, really quiet because it started off with the electric on it, but right away the combustion engine kicked in to give it more boost, more power, and in combination it was actually fairly good. So let's do one more thing. Let's check out how this vehicle handles when I start turning the steering wheel. Now we're in the sports mode, so it should be a little bit tighter. I'll tell you, it's just not bad at all. I mean, you see a little bit of that body roll, but it's not bad. It's actually tighter than I just done the Lexus not too long ago, which is, you know, very soft. This is good. This is a nice combination. Driving it on the road, it feels actually very good. It does have this huge windshield, great visibility. The windows on the sides are large enough to provide that additional visibility. The back, you know, if you're not having anybody sitting in those back seats, again, no issues there. And the mirrors, they're maybe on a little bit smaller side, but you still can see quite well out of them. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and see if I can actually test out the 0 to 60 acceleration on this vehicle and see what we're gonna, how it's going to feel. But overall, it's actually pretty impressive. Now, I do feel some noise coming in. I didn't feel that or hear that at all when driving at the slower speeds in the fully electric mode, but now that I'm on the road, it might be tires. It might be the tire noise, might be the road noise, but the noise is definitely getting into the cabin. So maybe at the higher speeds, it's not as quiet as it is, you know, in the parking lot here. Let's check this out. We're in the sport mode again. Let's go. Got it up to about 62 miles per hour, which is really good. It does have the slingshot effect, which, you know, it starts off slow and then it builds up that momentum when this combustion engine kicks in, and with combination it really has this nice pull. Now, I do have it in the hybrid mode. Another thing that you can actually change in here, you can put it in the EV mode, which is a fully EV mode. I'm going to flip that over right now. So we have to exit sport mode. That's what it's telling me. Go to eco mode and go to electric vehicle mode. And now you can't hear anything as far as the engine. Then I can hit this button again and we're going to go in the hybrid mode, which is going to be probably most of the people preferred mode, unless you just want to do it in the electric mode. And then there's another mode that's called automatic, and that's basically gonna let the vehicle choose for you. Back in the parking lot, guys, time to wrap it up. I'm really impressed with this vehicle. There's really not much that I would change on it. I mean, I would like to add maybe a wireless Android Auto, maybe have the LED lights, but I tell you, I'm gonna check out that SX Touring, which I think it's got all of the features that I'm asking for, and bring it to the channel. So if you're interested in watching more videos like this, guys, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing. Make sure you turn on that little notification bell so you don't miss any of them. And if you're anywhere in Florida, check out the guys at Gettle Kia of Bradenton. They're the one that's making these Kia videos possible on my channel, so huge shout out and thank you to those guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.